I'm an actual twat and I forgot to actually include this in the video, even though I literally wrote a reminder on my hand to do it. But basically, I just wanted to say that all of the revenue, the ad revenue generated off this video, is going to be going to the NHS as part of a really cool initiative that Saffron introduced. I'll put all the information down below about it. But basically, all you need to do is watch the ads in full on these videos. Like, there's going to be more ads than usual, but just try and watch as much of the adverts as you can, and all of the money that we generate from the ads on this video will be going directly to help the amazing people working in the NHS to get us out of this mess. And hats off to every single one of you. And yeah, just basically watch the ads, people. Now enjoy the video.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a weirdly requested one, and it's another... Wow, I don't even know what the name of the video is. Cool. It's another evening in with Eve and Gin, and I know I only did one of these like 2 weeks ago, but you guys have been requesting another one, and I thought, well, I'm uploading twice a week now, so there's been a few videos in between, and they're actually really enjoyable to film. It's quite warm here today, so I've had to keep the window open, so I apologise if there is a lot of like background noise. My street is quite noisy because we live next to a hospital, and so there's lots of like traffic back and forth still, but it's a really chilled video anyway, so I thought like it doesn't really matter. I am quite tired today, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. I've had not the best day for no reason whatsoever. Like, I've just been really, my hormones have just not been agreeing with me today. I've just been really tearful and just feeling really, I get really like bad body dysmorphia when I'm about to, you know, start my period. So I did that when I'm about to start my period, and so I see myself differently in the mirror as well. Like, I've just been having like a really, like one of them days where you just feel like a complete blob. So I thought it would actually be really nice to film this video. So if I sound a little bit more like subdued than normal, it's just because I'm really tired. This whole thing's just been a bit crazy. It's been a bit of a emotional roller coaster of a week, shall we say, and I'm just trying to keep afloat like the rest of you. So this gin is rhubarb and ginger gin with lemonade today. I usually have tonic, but I was feeling lemonade, and rhubarb and ginger gin is just the best. It's actually very good with ginger ale as well. Would definitely recommend that too. So yeah, we're gonna go straight onto the questions because I know that is what you guys are here for. So without further ado, let us begin. So the first question is, do you ever find it hard being with your parents being divorced, living between two houses? So my parents divorced when I was 11, so 10 years ago nearly now. Oh, wow, oh my gosh, wow. No, wait, when I was 10. When I was 10, May of when I was 10. So 10 years next month. I don't really remember much different in my life, if I'm honest with you. Like, in my mind, I can't really imagine my parents together just because of the age. I did find it very difficult growing up, just in terms of like constantly ferrying my stuff back and forth between two houses, and just like never really like having the just sort of being in one place for a long period of time. Now I'm older, I do just sort of like stay at my mom's and I go and visit my dad rather than moving back and forth, because I'm at uni, so I'm moving back and forth from there as well. But yeah, I didn't find my parents' divorce difficult when it happened, but like particularly, but it's definitely been, it's made my life more difficult over my teenage years, shall we say. Not because they fight or anything, but anyone that has divorced parents will understand, even if they're friendly, like there's always going to be some degree of like underlying tension. And obviously you have two new families to adjust to, two whole sets of like parents to adjust to, like it's a lot. I'm not saying that my family life is not good, because it is, but it's definitely been one of the things, like the relationship with everyone in my family has definitely been one of the things that I've struggled with the most growing up. And you know, it's definitely not perfect and it can get fractured at times, but that's the same as any family, isn't it? So the next one is how to deal with all of your friends being in relationships but you're not. This is something that I am very familiar with, sadly. The girls group chat, like at any given time, me and Lizzie always joke that like we're always the ones that are just not in relationships. Like, it's kind of just become a running joke at this point. I definitely know the feeling of like of always being the single one. It's hard to say how to cope with it, honestly. Like, the only real negative of it, I think, is that sometimes you can definitely feel like a burden in a group chat, because you're talking about like potential talking stages or something, or someone that you've met somewhere, and 9 times out of 10 it will fizzle out, and you or you talk about that one person that you're still hung up on, and that's all you talk about. Whereas they're like in a relationship, so they've got like, you know, like a steady thing. Whereas like me and Lizzie will always be messaging like about random people, and I can imagine that that gets quite annoying. And like sometimes you do sit and think, oh my god, like I must be so irritating, saying, oh, I've met this guy, and then a week later it just fizzling out, and them having to do the same like ritual of consoling me every single time a talking stage falls through. But yeah, like, you do get used to it, and I really can't wait for the day where I do end up finding someone that I like enough to date, or likes me enough to date me, and actually messaging the chat being like, I'm in a relationship. They're gonna be like, what? Because they've known me for how long? Like 5 years, and all of that time I've like, if this is single and this is relationship and this is talking stage, all I do is this. Oh, no. Oh, really, no. Pied. Then I sit here for ages because I just don't want to talk to anyone else. Oh, talking stage, nah, nothing. Oh, talking stage, nah, nothing. That is literally my life. So I feel you, girl. Faith says, my old friend contacted me yesterday. Should I rekindle with him, or is he just bored? This is a really difficult one again, because it depends on the circumstances in which you parted ways. Like, if you parted ways on like amicable terms, and like it didn't end because he like messed you about and played you and like whatever, then definitely like talk to him again, and just, you know, see what's going on. It could be that he's bored, if I'm honest with you, or maybe he's just not bored, but he's just thinking, I know a lot of people I know have been sat in quarantine and have just thought like, who did I really used to enjoy talking to? So it could be that. It could be that, like, I've been thinking that recently. I've been thinking like, oh, who would I love to message that I just really enjoy talking to? Like, most people of them I wouldn't message now, but like, maybe it's that. It could be a nice thing. I'd say that if it ended in kind of like a toxic way, I wouldn't try and like restart that. But if it didn't end in a toxic way, and like you know, you just sort of drifted apart, then there's no harm in talking to him, in my opinion. But obviously I don't know your individual circumstances, and so that's hard. The next one is, has having a YouTube channel ever negatively impacted you at uni, socially or academically? Definitely in a way, like it was, I didn't like it at first when I first came to uni, because when I was meeting everyone for the first time, like, some people did know about it, and they didn't make fun of me because we're not 12, but like I have heard stuff going on around my back, like behind my back, quite a lot at uni. And like the worst is when I'm in like a coffee shop or something and somebody will notice me, and usually like I don't mind, like, because you don't want to be that asshole that's like, hello, they totally know who I am. And usually they'll come up to you, so that uncertainty's gone of whether they are, like, they have recognised you or not. But there are some people who like take pictures of you or like laugh about you when you're literally like across from them. I remember one time, like, so vividly, me and Rosie, just a little Roo, were in Cafe Nero, no, not Cafe Nero, Pret. And we were literally sat next to these two people who were genuinely like filming us, taking selfies with us and everything, like, and sending them to their friends. And we looked over at them like, we are sat right here, and they just didn't care. Stuff like that really does get to me. And obviously, like, sometimes, like, when I meet friends of friends, they're like, oh my god, you're Eve Bennett, like, and I do hear it in the club when people are really drunk. People are like, oh my god, is that Eve Bennett? Like, oh my god, like, in a joking way. But 9 times out of 10, the encounters that I have because of my YouTube are always really lovely. So I'm not like one to complain about that, really. Like, I'm just grateful to have the platform that I have. So, you know, it comes with its, like, this comes with the territory, you know. The next one is, how are you doing? Has your mental health been affected by quarantine? If so, how? I'm okay. It has been like really affected by the quarantine. If you guys kind of watched me this time last year, you'll know that this time last year I was really not doing very well. I'm not at that point. In fact, I'm watching my Snapchat memories at the moment being like, I was actually in such a horrible place this time last year for like many reasons, and not doing that badly. I'm not at that point. I am definitely worse than I usually am. I feel like the road to recovery, I've kind of like come back a little bit off that, just because if you've got anxiety, you'll know that that feeds off uncertainty. And usually, to cope with uncertainty, a therapist will say, you know, you need to look at it logically and think that, you know, there are some like definitive outcomes that you can kind of work towards, or like you can see that it's actually not as uncertain as you think. The issue with this whole corona quarantine thing is that it's not just an uncertainty of when I'm gonna get out of here, like, it's an uncertainty of like the next year of my life. Like, I don't know where I'm gonna be going. And also just uncertainty of like so many other things in my life, and just general like isolation from my friends, because that's like my main coping mechanism, is going out and seeing my friends. means that like it's definitely suffered, and I'm struggling a lot with the fact that like I'm just really working and sleeping and working and sleeping, and like that for me can give me my brain a lot of space for negative thoughts to come back in. I'm definitely fighting it and I'm keeping an eye on it. It's not awful by any stretch of the imagination. It's definitely back. But I should know much better than I did last year how to kind of keep it at bay a bit more. And obviously I don't have exams, which takes a bit of the pressure off, even though the uni haven't taken any pressure off whatsoever. But yeah, so yeah and no, but I will be sure to keep you updated. The next one is, whenever a boy likes me, it kind of freaks me out. Is this weird? Oh my god, same, literally same. Like I thought I was really weird about this, in that if I like a guy and they don't like me back, I'm fine. I can sit and flirt with them all day long. If I don't know if it's reciprocal, it's literally fine. As soon as a guy starts to show more interest in me than I show in them, I panic every single time. You know what? For someone that complains a lot about being single, any of the girls, if you're watching this, will testify that at the first sign of somebody genuinely like wanting to be with me, I will run away. I will run for the hills. I will start to get really like stressed and distant, and I do it every time. I can definitely think of an exception to that, but it was like a totally different situation, and that was the only time that I have not run for the hills, like literally yeeted myself out of there. And I remember my friends being like, Eve, like what the hell, like you're still there? And I was like, I know. Yeah, well, last time I do that, I tell you, basically I always run because I'm scared that it's going to end badly. And so when it does end badly, like it did that time, yeah, no, it definitely means that now I am very guilty, even more so than when I tried not to do it. I'm now even more guilty of it, because for me, like, if someone's nice to me, I'm like, I smell bullshit, like you're like, this is not gonna end well, like you're gonna leave, or like you're gonna like turn around and like break my heart or something. I don't even know. So long story short, I was very guarded. I let my guard down, and I'm now even more guarded. In fact, at this point I may as well just have a brick wall up. But I understand what you mean. I think it's just like a fear of like, yeah, as I said, like letting your guard down, and accepting that somebody could actually really like you, because if you've had bad experiences with that and it's gone wrong, then I can understand why. And also, like, it is just scary. Like the idea of a relationship, a commitment, if you've not been in one, is scary. I am like, it's my new quarantine resolution to not run away at the first sign of affection. Obviously not that I'm going to be getting any affection because we're in quarantine, but yeah, like fully get you on that one. Olivia says, what is your favourite song at the moment? Oh, I think in terms of the quarantine, Vienna by Billy Joel is, I mean, this has been my favourite, one of my favourite songs for like ever. I love it so much. It's a song for me that is very loaded with lots of different experiences. So it is a song that I will listen to when I am the happiest I am. And it is a song that I have listened to when I have been absolutely like in the darkest place you could ever imagine, and I've listened to it then too. And it has the capacity to make me happier when I'm feeling happy, or it has the capacity to suck the remnants of my soul out when I'm feeling distraught. Last year I listened to it a lot. It was one of like my most listened to songs. I had a break from it for a while just because I felt like it got quite mixed up in my head with like everything that happened to me last year and like how low I was feeling for so much of it. But it's such a beautiful song, and it's basically about how, you know, like for people like me, I can just relate to it so much. Like the lyrics were made for me, about, you know, you need to just slow down, and it says like, slow down, you crazy child, take your phone off the hook and disappear for a while. It's all right, you can afford to lose a day or two. Like, just go and listen to it, because if you're like me and you really struggle to slow down and you really struggle to like put things in perspective, and like everything just is so, you feel everything so intensely and you're just always in a rush to like do everything, and like you just feel everything and want to be everywhere and like whatever, that is the song that really hits for me. Like it just hits different, and I know how to play it on the piano as well, and I love it. So I think at the moment, because we're stuck in quarantine and I have had all my work experience cancelled, I'm struggling to just do my basic tasks of work, let alone do the amount that I normally do to succeed academically. I have been listening to it a lot just to remind myself that productivity is good, but it's not essential at this time, and watch out for a video about that coming soon. What's something that you've realised whilst in lockdown? I've realised a lot of things whilst in lockdown, some good, some bad. Main thing I've realised is that I took travelling for granted so much. I went to Peru for a month last year, and I was still like recovering. I was in the recovery stage of like, I was still really bad, basically mentally. Like I was not doing well. I was still having therapy whilst I was out in Peru on Skype, and I really was not in a great headspace, and so many little trivial things that I look back and think like were like stopping me from fully enjoying myself. And now I would give my right arm to get on a plane, and now I was supposed to be spending 6 months of this year in Latin America, and I was actually really reticent about going. I was thinking, oh, do I really want to do this? And now like this lockdown has made me realise that yes, I do. I want to travel. I've been watching Race Across the World, which is an incredible show. You should definitely watch it. And it's just made me realise like life is too short. Like get out there. Like I am getting a one-way flight to Mexico City as soon as like my life permits, and I'm now so excited for my year abroad if it happens. In whatever form it is, I'm so excited to spend a year away from uni, like traveling and stuff. I'm gonna miss my mates, but that's the main positive thing I've realised, that I am saving all my money now to just go and travel and just go and be with my friends and just experience what I want to experience. The next one is, do you want to graduate with a first? I do, and I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. I'm really not sure how doing the next term online is going to impact my degree, but I will fight tooth and nail to catch up on anything that I struggle with in this quarantine, and I really, really want to graduate with a first, yes. Yes. What traits in a guy are a definite no-go to you? Okay, we have a few. So the first one is if they are slow to reply, because I like relatively constant communication. Not relatively constant, but I need someone that can hold a conversation over social media, because I'm a busy person, and if they can't communicate on text, I overthink a lot, and that's just going to leave me a lot of space to really like be like, oh my god, he hates me, like all he said is haha, or something like that. I want someone who's open about when they're busy, when they're not busy. Yeah, basically lack of communication, not just on social media, like just in general. Like I need someone that is capable of communicating, like big style, and I think that is like the main one for me. If they're not open, honest, and like they don't know themselves, get in the bin. Bye, out you go. As well as that, like people who are really just like, I'd say selfish, like, but I don't mean it like that. I just mean like you can tell that they ultimately at the end of the day will be focused on themselves, and I think you can definitely tell who those sort of people are. I myself am guilty of doing it occasionally, but I really like genuinely, like if I care about someone, like I will give up any amount of time for them. And so people who wouldn't do that, I think that's quite easy to spot from early on. Like they need to be able to, someone that's willing to sacrifice some of their time and like, you know, isn't just completely focused on their own like trajectory, and you know, is willing to sort of like stop and pause and think about others. It's hard actually, because I don't really know what's like a no-go. Like there are definitely red flags, but like there's not specific traits that I would say are a no-go, but those are definitely the two main red flags for me. Although honestly, like who cannot put their hands up and say that they've had red flags being waved in their faces and they're like, sorry, I don't see them flags. The next question is related, is do you value looks or brains more in a boyfriend? Definitely brains. Oh my god, like not that I've had a boyfriend, but like I can, like the only people I've ever like spoken to and the only people that I've ever had like I've actually like really liked have been like cleverer than me, and that can sometimes make for fraught tensions, because I think like sometimes I overthink things, like they'll overthink things, and like the issue is that people who are like really clever, like cleverer than me, are similar to me in a lot of ways, because like if we both prize academics, we both have like similar priorities, I think, and then that can get really messy. Yeah, generally cleverer. or as clever as me, or like not, it doesn't even necessarily have to be academically clever, just interested and passionate about something, like whether that's music or languages or the job that they do or the business that they've started up. Like it just needs to be some sort of drive or passion there. So I wouldn't say, like, if we look back at people I've spoken to, generally, yeah, they have been quite clever academically, but like just talented generally. Like they've got something that like gets them up in the morning, essentially is fine. Not even fine, like ideal, like I love that. What do you think about people who say you can't complain at the moment? Sadness is relative. It's so frustrating. I genuinely can't. It really frustrates me because, yeah, okay, like there are definitely like really big issues going on right now. Like no one is saying that there isn't, but when I see people on Twitter like being a little bit upset that something that they were really looking forward to has been cancelled, and then people comment like, God, all you do is complain, like, God, stop being so negative, like people are dying, Kim, and you're like, yes, I know, but if someone's like planned their wedding, they're alright to be upset about it. Or if somebody was looking forward to seeing one of their friends after months, they're alright to be upset about it. Or if someone's paid 9 grand to go to a uni and they don't get to go back, they're alright to be upset about it. Like everything is relative, and like people use their social media as a space to like voice their upset and concerns, and they know that there are worse things in the world, but like you are allowed to be upset about what this is doing to it is impacting everybody. Like I am so upset that I've had the best term of my degree taken away from me, just as finalists are upset that they've got to do open book exams, just as freshers are upset that they don't, like some people are upset that they don't have exams. Like it's literally anyone is allowed to be upset as much or as little as they want about whatever they want, and it really annoys me. Like it gets me. Like sometimes I clock myself getting annoyed at people complaining that they can't see their boyfriends, because I think I'm just bitter that I don't have one. But then I realise, I'm like, no, like because they normally do, and like that's so fair. And I have to clock myself and like say like it's okay for people to be upset about things. It's really got on my nerves recently, like I'm not gonna lie to you. How are you coping with anxiety, with uncertainty? As I said earlier, I've really just been trying to check in with my head. And I've definitely had a couple of really bad days, like where I've just gone right back, just because of like uncertainty with uni and like just generally with my life in general. And I'd say that you have to just be compassionate and kind to yourself. Like today I was just not feeling good, and I woke up, and from the second I woke up I was like, I'm not feeling good today, and I literally just crossed off everything on my to-do list and moved it to tomorrow. And the only things I'm doing today are the things that I have to do today. And you just have to be really kind to yourself in times like this. And I think like just checking in like at every interval you can and being like, how am I feeling today? Do I need to take a break? And trying to carve out some time in your day to like focus on mindfulness or like centering, I find really useful, and turning off your phone as well, not checking the news as much. But I really understand, and if it's getting really bad, then you might want to consider like going and talking to somebody. Obviously I've linked loads of resources back on my mental health videos, so you're more than welcome to go and look at those. But yeah, keep an eye on it, I think, because it's definitely a time where people can be very vulnerable to. It's been 9 months and I still haven't fancied anyone since my ex, who isn't really an ex. Help. This is the feeling I can relate to. It's not necessarily 9 months, but like I understand. I mean, I spoke a lot about this in my last video about people that you didn't really date, and it sucks because like they've definitely just moved on with their lives, and sometimes you can think that you have too, and then you'll be like, oh, that, like, I think more anything, it just hurt your feelings, and like that's okay, and it's okay. And as I said in the video before, like you probably have like built them up to this like image of perfection that they actually really aren't. Not to say that they're not a nice person or anything, like just to say that like you've probably made this scenario in your head a lot nicer than it actually was. And I get that when you like meet other people, what you're doing is you're comparing new connections with new people with like a well-formed or like relatively well-formed connection that you had with that person that you couldn't date for whatever reason. And the issue with that is that you're so imagine like really horrible analogy, but like if this is a graph, like it's curving upwards, and you're comparing you at the top of the curve with meeting someone right at the bottom. And I think it's very tempting to be like, oh, but like when I saw that person, like I fell in love with them straight away and it was love at first sight, and like I just knew that I was like infatuated with them, and I've not felt that raw connection since. Like, you might not have felt the raw connection, but there's obviously like 150% chance that you're definitely over romanticizing that past connection that you had in your head. And I honestly would say to you that when you actually drop that and you try and just move past it like a little bit, and you just be open to fancying other people, yeah, okay, like it might not feel quite the same, but like it will eventually, I'm sure. I feel this so much, and it genuinely got to the point with me where I was coming back off dates and I would literally just be so upset because I'd be like, it's just not the same. But you have to keep at it, and you know, you might have to go through a lot of frogs before you find someone that makes you feel the same way. But you also have to remember that you didn't date this person, and so like clearly there was something wrong there, and like remind yourself of that. Obviously, like, it takes different people different amounts of time to get over something like that, because it depends on what the situation was like. And I can understand how frustrating it is to like be like talking to other people and just thinking, but it's just not that person. Believe me, I understand. But like, you just have to, do you know what, I'm literally sat here trying to give advice on this and I'm just like, I don't even know how to, because like it is just the worst thing ever, and it will pass. Like, I'm saying this with like a question mark, because I still feel like that sometimes. I do, if I'm honest with you, I do, I really do. And I'm sure there are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and millions of other people out there that feel exactly the same. Heck, there are probably people in relationships that feel like that with people that they never really dated, and like, that's fine. It's a normal human emotion, but you just have to make sure that it's not cutting you off from new opportunities, if that makes sense. Like, by all means acknowledge that it's happening. That's what I do. I kind of acknowledge, I'm like, okay, Mr. Comparison has entered the chat and he's trying to stop you from enjoying this new person who's actually really nice in their own right and actually does like you. And you just have to like accept that, and you have to like try and work with those emotions and understand that it won't be forever, and one day you'll look back and you'll think, really? Really? And when that day does arrive, my friends, drinks are on me. I feel like I missed out on anything because of focusing so hard on academics. Literally, no, not at all. Like, I had a really, really great like teen like years. I travelled so much, I saw so many things, and I also did really well in my exams. And yeah, okay, that meant that some evenings I was working, but the thing is, like, during school, like Mondays to Fridays, people were just sat at home watching telly if they weren't working, and so what was I really missing out on? Like, I still went on all the holidays that I wanted to go to, still went to all the parties that I wanted. Year 12 I definitely got a bit like insular, and I regret year 12 a lot sometimes, but generally, like, I travelled so much. I did dance, I did guides, like I met amazing friends, I got into the uni of my dreams, and at Oxford I feel like I have like a really rich social life. I feel like I do more than a lot of people do at Oxford, and I feel like I've really struck a balance between working hard and playing hard, and I don't think I'd want to play any more than I do, because I do enjoy my academics. So no, the only thing I'd say I've missed out on was maybe the romance aspect of things, but like, that, I don't know whether that was because of my academics or that was just me personally, really, looking back. I don't think it was because I was working so hard, if I'm honest with you. I think it's because I just wasn't in the headspace for it, and that's okay, that's normal. How are you coping with body image and isolation? Not great, if I'm honest with you. I did start working out properly at the start of isolation, so it's been, what, like 3 weeks now? And I'm just bigger, like I'm just bigger, not because I've gained muscle, but because, like, well, my muscle, you guys all said on Twitter that my muscles are like retaining water at the moment, so my thighs, they look awful. They look worse than they did before. They look so swollen and just gross. They look like cankles, but thighs, essentially. And it's been really hard for me to deal with, and I'm trying, I had a bit of a bad day with it today. I'm trying to push through, and I'm trying to like wait until I see the results, because I've definitely been eating healthier since the isolation. I had a whole pizza tonight, but like, yeah, and I want to keep doing that because I'm feeling a lot better, and I am feeling so much better doing exercise. But with me, I have quite an obsessive personality, and like, you can go and watch my videos where I've spoken about this before, but yeah, there is definitely a danger that I'm going to fall back into that. But I'm, again, as with my mental health, I'm a lot older now, I've been through it before, I know how to deal with it, and like, I know my own Achilles heel. And so I've been doing it and I've been really enjoying it. Like, I've just been struggling with the water weight because it doesn't look good. And the last one for today is, do you still keep in touch with Jade? I don't know why this question comes up so much. It genuinely baffles me. Like, I don't understand. Me and Jade are perfectly good friends and we talk like relatively frequently. Like, we just message each other on Instagram or whatever. And I don't understand why everyone thinks that we hate each other. Like, we literally, there is no animosity, like there's no beef whatsoever. We just don't hang out that much because we're so busy. She lived in San Francisco, for God's sake. Like, we just don't see each other and we're not on the same management, so we don't do like things together like in terms of work. But we are not, there is no hostility. Jade, I mean, you're probably not watching this, but if you are watching this, then please do tell me if you think that we've fallen out, because we always talk about this. We always talk about how we don't understand why people think that we hate each other when we literally don't. But yeah, anyway, thought I'd end on that one because that was such a frequently asked question and I was like, I don't really understand why. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this one. There were so many other questions that I wanted to answer, but of course there will be another one of these relatively soon, so you can look forward to that and I will try and answer as many questions as I physically can. If you did enjoy this video, give it a huge thumbs up and comment down below if you have any other requests that I've not been doing. I hope you're all holding up okay. Stay safe, stay home, and I'll see you very soon with a new video. Bye guys. Mwah.